So congratulations. So not only do you have choir, now I find out you have Santana, and you had one other thing in Tribeca. What was that?
I had a short film called The Translators. I was in Tribeca X, which we actually won, which was pretty amazing. It's been an amazing week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So obviously you haven't been sleeping either. What did you love best about this particular project?
I mean, there were so many moments throughout the course of making this where I would pinch myself because I'm sitting there looking at archive footage of legendary Carlos Santana, legendary Woodstock footage, and I was like, am I really, I thought I was getting punked for a lot of it because who let me do this, but it was just time after time, just really amazing moments where I just feel very grateful to be able to share these stories. Going through this like 50-year career and seeing all these things was just amazing to have my hands on all of it and be able to watch all of it and create this story and life of this person who not only sought musicality and all, but spirituality and all the other things that make you tick as a human. To watch that journey with him, with the footage in my hands was absolutely amazing. I was searching through the archives and I found some unmarked tapes. I put these tapes in and they're Carlos filming himself and talking to the camera and singing and playing the guitar to the camera, and it became the baseline of our film because I wanted you to be in his hands, in his voice, in his heart the entire time.
And you, since you have been doing so many different things, do you do a little each day on different projects, or do you do one project, complete it, and then the next? I want to know what your style is.
I'm going to let you in on how my brain works, and it might be like serial killer stuff. But I've realized when I was younger that my brain is like an 8-lane highway, and if I only have one car on it, it's just sort of banging into all the walls. But if I have something filling all the lanes, I can actually think. So I'm working on every project every day, all the time. They all, I have a lot of through lines in all of my project, and it's leading with humanity. So stories about Carlos, he was such a big part of my life growing up, and such a amazing role model of somebody who looked like me, who broke all these barriers, who did all the things that weren't expected of him and broke all the molds. Match with stories about choir, match with stories about translators, because I want to find the humanity in every story. So they connect in a weird way. Yeah.
I kind of feel that, and almost like your brain's so smart, like I feel the energy, and I know you have a question for Rudy too.
I wouldn't say smart.
No? I think
I would never.
Okay, how about, can we say talented?
We can, I'll let you say it.
All right, talented, there we go.
So Rudy, like I've seen you at the choir premiere, I've seen you around this week, and there's one thing I noticed about you, you're always bringing the heat on your feet. Can you explain what's going on those feet of yours tonight?
I am a pretty dull person in a lot of ways, other than being incredibly funny. But what I do, and unbelievably humble, but the one thing I try to have a little accent with is my shoes. Like you'll see me, if you see me on any given day outside of premieres, I'm wearing the same thing every single day. The only thing that shifts is my shoes. It's always like a hoodie and jeans, like every single day, but like shoes is the only thing that I.
And I'm thinking next year, Tribeca, we're going to see you in front of the camera. Deal? Yes.
I don't know about
with that humor, I think that's a possibility.
Is anyone casting? Because I could use a job.
Sure.
Yeah.
I met Carlos through a friend of mine who's a very old school manager called Ed Gerard, and he was working with Ashley, and he brought me to meet with Carlos in his house. And I've been as a Mexican, I've been a fan since actually he was my first concert. I took a train, literally a train from Mexico City to the north to go and see him. So it was amazing to have a moment as an artist, as a filmmaker that I am, to meet Carlos, and that's where it started. The magic of Rudy, our director, and Imagine, and I think Carlos felt safe with us and connected with the team, and it was just great to experience a little bit of his life. The magic of being a human being that can change, things with his own drum beat. Carlos came from the middle of Mexico, and he kind of changed his life through his will and his magic.
I have a feeling that my mom and my father are pulling some strings on the other side for this to happen, because they want to share how they sculpture my life, with their morals, their values, and their principles. And so this is more than just a guitar player. This is more of a person who believes with passion and conviction that each person can make a difference in the world, bringing light and divinity into the table, because there's too much shuck and jive, phony baloney out there, and we need the real resonance of light and divinity. It was wonderful. They were very cooperative with what I wanted to do because, most documentaries are about, I want to say losers, but there's for a lot of victim mentality, and and so I wanted to make a documentary because there's women and men that I admire a lot, and I feel that there's certain women and men who raise the bar as far as like high consciousness and principles and the way they behave themselves in a way that is commendable, pillars in the community as far as like rescuing people from themselves, because most people are not happy unless they're miserable, So I wanted this documentary, which is a documentary about a person who, since I was a child, I believe that there is a way to put aside the lie of being a wretched sinner. I never believed that anyone is a wretched sinner. Since we're human and we have, as Coretta King used to say, we have feet of clay, but we're capable to create and manifest blessings and miracles, And I feel really grateful because they complied with my request. My request was like, I need to have a say-so on beginning, middle, and end, how my life is going to be portrayed on this documentary. We believe that there is a need for a frequency channel like Arthur Ashe, Dr. J, Maya Angelou, Dolores Huerta, Mother Teresa. There's people who are here to uplift the consciousness of people, and that's what I want to be more than anything else. Santana is a safety net to rescue people from themselves, because most people are not happy unless they're miserable. And I want to show them, like, stick around, don't check out. The best part of your life is still ahead, it's around the corner, So I want my life to be a celebration of my light and my divinity. And by doing that, I can demonstrate other people, somos iguales, we're the same light, There's a saying, I'll conclude this thing by saying, may the heavens open up and the angels bless each and every one with the deep awareness of their own light and divinity. That's what's happening.